Sometimes when you look at life, it's very, very interesting. In order to uh, document this history, I just started looking at some of the old newsletters and recapitulating the work that was done by the National HRD Network in early years, as well as the Academy of HRD. Let me recapitulate where we stopped in the last video. Six of us met at Bilai. Both Uday, Parikh, and I were there as consultants to SAIL. I was working from IIM as a part of the IIM's consulting project. SAIL invited Uday to review the performance appraisal system they introduced it 5 years ago, which was run into some issues of normal distribution. Rakesh Kumar was assisting Uday Parikh on behalf of SAIL, and he was Joint Secretary of HRD Network. Mr. Nair was shifted to Bokaro as the Managing Director of Bokaro Steel. And when we met there, we requested Father Abraham and Keith D'Souza, who were also secretaries of National HRD Network from XLRI Jamshedpur, to join us. So we discussed, the task was to discuss how do we take the outcome of the Mission Vision workshop of National HRD Network forward. We discussed and we said that there is no alternative but to start a center, and the center we called the Academy of Human Resources Development. We brainstormed quite a bit, and I think Mr. Nair must have done his checking later, indicating to all his members and so on. I think this was widely accepted. So as soon as this was accepted, Mr. Nair wrote to Professor Narayan Sheth, requesting for my services as honorary director of the Academy of HRD to establish as a center for the network. Professor Narayan Sheth, in writing, requested me or proposed that I work as the honorary director of the academy. Uh, of course, no extra weightage was given to me for this work. I have to continue to do my 6 course equivalents of work at the institute. So it's an honorary job. It's honor. And the only thing he said was he will consider this as a equivalent to a research project or an institution building project, provided I document the experiences of building this particular institution. Insightful person, because he said that look, IIM is involved in disseminating, and you people from beginning of the institute worked on institution building. In fact, I think myself, Uday Parikh, Ravi, I think we produced a book. This was our first book on institution building. A year after I joined, from self-renewal to stagnation, institution building. I think the experience of so many people we have put together, starting with Yashpal, Mr. Naidamma, B.D. Tilak of National Chemical Laboratory, Kamla Chaudhary, Ishwar Dayal from Indian Institute of Public Administration. I think putting all of them together, we brought out a beautiful volume called Institution Building. And after that, all the work both Uday and I, along with Ravi Mathai, had done revolved around institution building. That is the reason why when Ravi died in the year 1984, subsequently I am thought of having a center in memory of Ravi Mathai. And we call this center as Ravi Mathai Center for Educational Innovations, RMCI. It exists even today. In fact, I think various directors of IIM worked for it, and the Ravi Mathai Auditorium is one of the outcomes of this particular center, work of IIM on this. So one of the tasks of the center was to continue the work on institution building, started by Ravi, Uday, and me. Uday retired, Ravi was no more, and I continued in the institute, and therefore Narayan felt that this is only a good tribute that we can make, because Ravi always believed there is no one way of professionalizing management in every sectors, and there is no one way of institution building, and IIMA is very much involved in institution building activity. For example, IIM was participated in the building of the institution NIBM, later the Indian Institute of Forest Management. Later, they worked with handloom sector and also influenced them quite a bit. Ravi Mathai himself used to go to Andhra University and other universities and help in setting up the management schools. So we consider this institution building as an important kind of an activity. That is how I think the institute readily agreeing to my spending time with setting up the Academy of HRD is considered as an institution building work. And once I have a green signal, I think I am enthused, and I think we started planning. And I used to be constantly in touch with Mr. Nair, either through the consulting assignments I was continuing to do with SAIL, or with, of course, Dr. Uday Parikh. This was the time when both Dr. Uday Parikh and I introduced from IIM this concept of HR audit, and I was doing quite a bit of, I was beginning to do HR audit for some of the Birla Group companies. Sometime in 1992, 93, of course, 92, I left for Commonwealth Secretariat London for almost a year to write this book on HRD, actually to help them to prepare a document for the Commonwealth heads of government on human resources development. That was a time when I, of course, by the time I went for Commonwealth Secretariat, Keith was already in position at the Academy of HRD as full-time director. But from 1990, mid 1990, when I wrote to uh, Professor Shade, and I have agreed. We started with phenomenal amount of enthusiasm to push the Academy of HRD. And Academy of HRD and National HRD Network always, I mean, we never had it. Academy of HRD was a part of National HRD Network. It's an outcome of this. So Academy of HRD is the baby of National HRD Network. And that is the way Mr. Nair treated, and subsequently that is the way Uday Parikh treated. And that is the way I have always felt. For us, these were not two different institutions. It's like a mother and child, but the child will have to grow far bigger, because as the mother gets old, the child should take care and should be able to support even the mother. I think interestingly, if you look at the work of both the Academy of HRD and HRD Network, in early stages itself, the child started supporting the mother. And the child started supporting the mother so much, the mother was brought back. At one point of time, the mother was struggling. And when the mother was struggling, it was the child which provided all the necessary, not only oxygen, but water, food, shelter, everything for National HRD Network. And I must say, this is the period during Uday Parikh's time as well as after Uday Parikh's time. In Uday Parikh's time, Academy of HRD did not need to support National HRD Network, because Uday Parikh is a person of stature and he was doing all that was possible for it. But after Uday Parikh, I will briefly mention, after Uday Parikh, we had V.S. Mahesh for about 6 months. V.S. Mahesh took charge of National HRD Network because he happened to be the one who did the mission vision workshop. But 6 months after he has taken charge as president, he could not do much in those 6 months, because I'm sure something was happening with him, because he was planning to migrate to UK. And we were all taken by surprise one fine morning when he announced that he's going out of the country. He has a chair professorship in one of the universities in UK, and therefore HRD Network will have to look for an alternative arrangement. So that is when I think the network was thrown out of balance. And then I was requested to take care as an interim president, since I was also assisting in some ways the Academy of HRD and so on. So it was during this period when Mahesh was thrown out of gear, uh, and Keith D'Souza was the head of Academy of HRD, and I was asked to be interim president. The conference was announced, but nothing was moving. Y.K. Bhushan from Bombay, CM Srivastava were supposed to, I think, organize the conference, but without a president and without push from HRD network, they were not willing to move ahead. That is when we had, I think, the Academy of HRD started playing an important role to keep National HRD Network alive by contacting various chapters, by mobilizing them to write papers, by pushing Srivastava and others. and finally making sure that a new president is elected. It was, I must say, in all fairness, Academy of HRD's contribution, of course, with Dr. Uday Parikh's support, because as immediate past president, Dr. Uday Parikh also was concerned, and MRR Nair were also concerned. So we were able to, therefore, conduct elections, or I forget what exactly the process that we have followed. I think we from the beginning, Dr. Parikh and all of us believe that announcing and collecting candidates from across the country and holding elections may not always get the best kind of directors. And Uday Parikh was very much convinced. In fact, he got the constitutional change made in National HRD Network uh, from election to that of a search process. Because we did not see these two as opposite to each other. Election makes it mandatory for people to participate, and anyone can nominate himself or herself. And in a particular chapter, if some other people decide that they would want to have XYG as a president, even if the rest of the country may not think that he is the best person, they are likely to elect someone who probably is there for power and not necessarily to do any good and things like that. It's possible. So we followed the IIM Ahmedabad model of finding the director by such committee. We incorporated that. So I'm sure that even for Rajesh Vidyasagar, that is what we have done. And Rajesh has done a marvelous job at the time in Hyderabad when he was working locally in Hyderabad. Hyderabad chapter got a lot of awards at the time. And Rajesh shifted to Tata IBM in Bangalore. And I think we all decided that he will be, after all, he's a TIS graduate. Um, I think, and there were so many considerations, and I think he became the. So it was during this time the Academy of HRD was all the time helping National HRD Network. In fact, it is through the academy. It was Keith D'Souza, myself, Rajesh Vidyasagar. We advertised and we were looking for somebody to full time look after as secretary of HRD Network. By the time we bought the house number 40 Cosmo Villa, academy itself was housed in number 12 Cosmo Villa. And in fact, even to buy number 12 Cosmo Villa, we got funds from National HRD Network. Not all the funds. What we were doing at the time was we were running, the National HRD Network was running a HRD facilitators program. And this facilitators program is a big hit. It's a big hit in the sense that we have had large number of people attending. It used to be a three-phased program. Phase one, they go through a 2 week kind of a lab, conceptual sessions. Phase two, they'll have to carry out some project. Phase three, they come back and then they make a presentation about whatever project work they have done. And after that, they graduate. I think we have gone through some stalwarts today in the HRD field have gone through our HRD facilitators program. It used to be held in Jaipur, Clark Summit. In this program at Clark Summit, we used to have also simultaneously ISAPS program going on, so therefore it was easy to conduct a basic human process lab and expose most of the HRD facilitators to the ISAPS PGL or BHP and things like that. So it was with this kind of a money that was available. I requested HRD Network to keep the last two HRD facilitators programs separate, because all the inputs are given by with the help of the Academy of HRD. I mobilized all this as honorary director. Therefore, the fund, whatever surplus HRD Network made, should be available. It is with part of this surplus, I think at that time Arvind Agrawal was the treasurer. Arvind actually wanted to invest this surplus in buying some land for HRD Network, and in fact he gave some money to Haryana Urban Development Authority. I recollect, I think he's withdrawing this money and passing it on to the Academy of HRD, so that with a part of this money, this was some paltry 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs, and even that money came from the HRD facilitators program. The rest of the money Academy itself raised. So with about 4 lakhs of rupees, Academy of HRD had started its own building in number 12 Cosmo Villa. Inspired by this, we started another building uh, in Cosmo Villa also for HRD Network.